Have you ever had a crush on someone and wanted desperately to go up and start chatting with them, but you also felt terrified to take those first steps? Why is it so hard to gather the courage to talk to your crush? The fear of rejection stops us in our tracks, but should it? When you really think about it, the idea of rejection tends to be scarier than the actual rejection itself, and yet it still doesn't make talking to your crush any easier. So how can you overcome that fear? You first need to give yourself a mindset of abundance. You have an abundance of value, an abundance of interesting things to say, and an abundance of self-worth and confidence that your crush admires. We're afraid of rejection because we think we're not good enough, or smart or funny enough. We don't think we're enough. But when you switch your mindset to one of abundance, that fear dissolves. You don't worry about rejection because there are an abundance of people out there. You don't worry about running out of things to say because you have all sorts of thoughts and opinions about the world. You'll always have something to talk about. You have an abundance of things to learn from the other person, so it's exciting to go up and talk to them rather than nerve-wracking. Your mind is almost always your biggest obstacle. Don't listen to the nagging voice that tells you no, because it will bring you down at every opportunity you allow it. Push that negativity to the side and tell yourself, please, I have interesting thoughts and opinions to share. Even if this person doesn't appreciate them, there are plenty of other people who do. The next step is to start talking to your crush. You might be thinking to yourself, wait a minute, Lindsay, you must have skipped a step, but hear me out. Besides fear, another reason you don't walk up to say hi is because of inertia. The habit of saying hello to a stranger or to somebody you like is not an automatic reaction, and it's much easier to continue pining away at your crush from afar rather than changing your habits. Again, your brain is creating a roadblock to prevent you from doing something new or scary like talking to the person you're interested in. So build up that habit of talking to people, especially if you're nervous. I have a friend who is practically fearless in walking up and talking to girls. I asked him how he's able to do it so casually, and he told me that every time he sees someone interesting, he immediately walks over to them without even thinking about it. He has done it so many times, it's completely automatic for him now. He doesn't always know what to say, but he knows that the longer he takes thinking about it, the more difficult it gets to overcome that inertia, so he moves before giving his brain a chance to back out. I think this is an excellent lesson to learn. If there's someone you like, or someone you think is pretty or cool looking, do not give yourself time to think too much about it. If you do, you'll likely come up with an excuse not to talk to them. Just start walking over to them and you'll find that your brain will quickly adapt to your actions and come up with something to say. It's sort of like jumping off of a cliff into the ocean. The longer you stare down at the drop, the more you think about how high up you are, the more nervous you get, and the more likely you'll back out. However, if you don't give yourself any time to think about it and dive right in, you quickly learn that it is a little scary, but it's also exhilarating, and you may just find yourself climbing back up to do it again. In short, this is all to develop your self-esteem and confidence. Self-esteem is something we talk about a lot at BePrimo, and that's because it's so essential to becoming your best self and attracting awesome people. You are an interesting person with valuable things to share with others, but you have to believe in it first before you can convince anyone else of it. If you're nervous and don't have much experience putting yourself out there, take a week or two to practice first. Say hello to people in your commute. Ask the cashier how their day is going. Start a conversation with someone in a coffee shop. In fact, I dare you to say hello to at least one stranger you see today, just to try it out. Social skills are like a muscle, so the more you practice, the better you get. And then, of course, the better you get talking with people, the more your confidence will grow. So go ahead and practice a few times, and then go out there and talk to your crush. Thank you everyone for listening, and remember to be primo. Now back to you, Chronicle Living.
That was awesome. Thank you, Lindsay. Everyone, please go check out their channel. They have so much fun, valuable content revolving around relationship and attraction. It's unbelievable. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and as always, I'll see you guys later.